Hello and welcome to the Avocado Light Foundation series on data protection and GDPR. My name is Kemar, Walford. Today I'm going to be covering 5 things you need to know about GDPR and data protection. So firstly, it's what is GDPR? What are the key points for small charities? How could it affect your charity? And key actions to be compliant. And then finally, other changes set to take place. So what is GDPR? GDPR is a new data protection law. It's 88 pages long and brings the old law up to date for the 21st century. It covers the automated and structured processing of personal data. So that's any filing system that you have that covers personal data. It covers a wide range of organisations, both inside and outside of the EU, and it comes into force on the 25th of May 2018. Unfortunately, Brexit is not a get out of jail free card. So, what are the key points for small charities? GDPR brings new concepts of data protection by design. So this is where it's inherent from the very beginning about how you control the data that you collect from personal information. It has 2 new principles which cover transparency and accountability, and also it looks at consent for use of personal data. If you are trying to process personal data for new purposes, then you'll have to look at getting a whole new consent for that particular purpose. The right to the data subject. Now this is a really big one. There's a massive change in relation to the right to be forgotten by that data subject. Data minimization. So this is where you try to minimize the amount of personal data that you collect from any individual to ensure that it's worthwhile and accurate. And then finally, appropriate self-storage systems. So this one is quite a big one for small charities particularly. We know that a lot of organisations don't have the correct storage systems, and this is quite an essential part of making sure that data protection within your systems are by design. How could it affect your charity? You need to be prepared to be compliant with GDPR. Ensure that anyone processing personal data for your organisation is also compliant, as it now is your responsibility as an organisation. You need to ensure that your consent processes or procedures are updated to reflect the new law. Data can only be used for the original purpose it was intended, so there's no changing in the middle of any processing without prior consent. Key actions to be compliant. Audit your data processing activities and conduct a gap analysis to identify actions that are needed. Seek professional advice regarding any exemptions. As you know, small charities can be exempt from this GDPR ruling, but you need to do it on a case-by-case basis. Review consent mechanisms and implement appropriate systems for recording both consent and the withdrawal of consent. Update all of your information notices, particularly around children and parental consent. As part of the new GDPR rules or regulations, information notices may be done on a 2-tier system, so a smaller, more readable consent, and then a larger information that details all of the things you might do with the information. And make sure that you would notify the Information Commissioner if anything does go wrong. Other changes set to take place. Privacy and Electronic Communications Regulation, or PECA, changing to the Electronic Privacy Regulations. So this is a big change, but it shouldn't really affect you. Again, it's about bringing the old rules and regulations up to date for the 21st century. Fundraising Preference Service. Now this is linked to the Fundraising Regulator and will be talked about in another video by a colleague. The Charities Act 2016. So this is around the protection and social investment predominantly. And then finally, the Fundraising Code of Practice, again linked to the Fundraising Regulator, and there has been some recent updates, so please do take care to check out what they say about the Fundraising Regulator. Don't forget to sign up for the accompanying notes that will cover all of the kind of different sources of information and will also keep you up to date with any of the guidance and other changes in law. I'd like to recommend 2, which are the Charity Commissioning Checklist for the CC20 and the Fundraising Regulator's guidance as well. There are other videos in the series including recruiting trustees and their responsibilities, financial management and accountability, and fundraising regulations. Don't forget to stay in contact with us at info@blackfundraisers.org, Twitter and Facebook at BlackFundUK, and also do check out our website at www.blackfundraisers.org. Thank you.